What is up, guys? It is your boy Strider coming at you with some more Pokemon content. Today we are going to start the last piece of the Pokemon Draft League series that I want to do before my draft, which is this coming Saturday. It is Tuesday as of recording this. Tuesday, right? Yes, Tuesday. I really want to slow the series down, mainly to increase its longevity, as well as give me more time to come up with ideas for it. I do want to keep doing this series. Do not worry, it will not end if you are interested in it. Today, what I would like to discuss, mainly because I keep getting or hearing kind of offhand comments from my players about some confusion with Tier 5. There's just kind of too many Pokemon there to really think about, and plus I don't even have them listed here. As you can see, I just have everything else put here, mainly because I did not feel like I was being lazy and just did not feel like listing the however many Pokemon there were that needed to be in there. So what we're going to do, we are going to do the top 15 Pokemon in Tier 5, at least as of my opinion, or as per my opinion. Obviously, my top 15 is going to be different than your top 15. And what we are going to do is actually have that split into 3 videos. So today I'm going to do 15 through 11. Tomorrow I'm going to do 10 through 6. And then Thursday I will do 5 through 1. That would mean it would come out on, today, Thursday, which should, 2 days. I know isn't a ton of time for them to watch that last video, but hopefully they can find the time in order to do that. I did it this way because at first I only wanted to do top 5, but then with there's 7 of us, and really top 5, even if someone wanted to draft each of one, the top 5 would not be sufficient. It would not give enough, I think, range of what picks might be. And then I was like, well, let's move it to top 10. But then I thought that video might be a little too long. That's initially why I decided to do top 5s, because I thought it would fit nice and tidy in a package. And so then I started doing that, and then I really couldn't figure it out, and I ended up with some honorable mentions. I ended up having 5 honorable mentions, and I was like, well, okay, let's just turn this into top 15 and split it into 3 videos. So let's just jump right into it. At number 15, in my opinion, we have Klinklang. Let's actually get rid of all these ads. There we go. Klinklang is a steel type. He has mostly a physical. He's mostly a physical mon. His strengths really are access to a move that nobody else can even learn, called Shift Gear. It is a boosting move that raises your speed twice and your attack once. So it's kind of just a better Dragon Dance. And I'm sure many of you have been swept by a Dragon Dance move before. You know how powerful it can be. I mean, this is literally just a strict upgrade from that. His attack is pretty good. It's sitting at a base 100, which is usable. I mean, again, we're talking about Tier 5 here. Obviously, these mons are not going to be absurd. His speed is a little low, but the good thing is he does have a high enough defense that he can set up in the face of some physical attackers. And with his steel typing, obviously, he can be kind of difficult to bring down unless they have the right moves for it. So here I have an example set. We're going to kind of do this with every mon we go through. I have Shift Gear, Gear Grind, which is kind of his stab. It's a steel type move. It's basically a base power 100 move. It's 50, but it hits twice. A little low accuracy there, unfortunately. We have Wild Charge, which is pretty good. I mean, it gets to hit water. It gets hit flying. Just nice to have that option. And then lastly, we have Facade, which is there in case he gets burned. Basically, we want to be able to still hit hard, even if someone burns us after a boost. So the biggest weakness with Klinklang here is, as you can see, I'm running Facade, which is probably not ideal. If he had better, like let's say he had Earthquake or something, I'd clearly rather run that most of the time. But again, his weakness is kind of just that his move pool is not very good. If you look up and down this, you will not find a ton of great options on the physical side, especially. He does actually have access to Volt Switch, which I thought about putting in there instead of Facade, even though it's special. Just that ability to be able to hit something and get out could be useful. Again, he has some interesting moves, mainly on the special side. A lot of electric moves, actually, weirdly enough. I don't know why he has so many electric moves. I guess because he's like a robot, so he's supposed to have, I don't know. Anyways, yeah, his move pool is not great. But again, just a solid Pokemon. He has Clear Body, which is nice, so nothing can intimidate him. Good defense. Is not a very again, just not a very versatile Pokemon. Really, this is about the only thing he's going to be able to do for you effectively. And even that, with his limited move pool, you're going to kind of have to pick and choose the matchups you're going to want to bring him in. So that's number 15, Kling Klang. Let's go up to 14. Here we have Muck. Muck actually has surprisingly good stats. If you take a look here, base 105 HP, base 105 attack, and base 100 defense. Those are, I mean, he can, in terms of a special wall, you could do worse. He does not have really any, in terms of being a wall at least, he does not really have any reliable forms of recovery, which kind of holds him back from being able to do that role super well. You could kind of use him as a bulky pivot maybe. Here we kind of have an interesting set. He's kind of a bulky physical sweeper that can set up on the right mons here. His move pool is actually very good. That is one thing to note about him. He has a pretty diverse move pool that he can do a lot of different things. You see he has even Thunder Punch here that we're not even running. We're running Fire Punch instead. Yeah, just some. I mean, you can look up and down it on your own time, but he does have some decent moves. Ice Punch here, just so he can hit a lot of different things super effectively. But here we have a pretty basic. Well, it's an Assault Vest set, and we're running Power Up Punch to make ourselves stronger and kind of set up while also doing a little bit of damage. Then we have the Stab, Gunk Shot, Shadow Sneak for the priority, because obviously he is very slow. You can take a look at his stats here. Only base 50 speed. He's not really going to outrun a ton, but if you get a couple power up punches up, maybe you can shadow sneak in order to finish some things off. We're running the Fire Punch. That's mainly because I feel like steals might wall us a little bit with this set. Yeah, I just wanted a way to break through those. Especially because I feel like a lot of people would switch in a steel type against a poison type, especially someone like Muck, who they're probably not super familiar with. Again, low speed, pretty bad defensive stat, but especially with an Assault Vest, he's going to be able to take a lot of special hits. I mean, if you honestly, you could change this to be a more defensive set. He doesn't have a ton of great moves for a defensive to be a defensive set, but you could really you could do some interesting things here. Ability wise, Stench probably isn't the best one. I really like Poison Touch here. You could run you could also run Sticky Hold so he can't get his item knocked off. But the Poison Touch here is actually going to do a lot here. He actually I think he makes contact with all of these moves. Let me check. Yeah, and he has a 30% chance to poison, so he can even stack on more damage with that Poison Touch. So again, that's number 14, kind of a slow, bulky, can be an offensive threat for your team in the right matchups, can take a lot of hits on the special side in especially the right matchup. Again, just does not really have a great move set to be a defensive mon, but something to keep in mind. Off to number 13 here, we are going to look at Lapras. Lapras is kind of the opposite of Kling Klang. Kling Klang is very good at one thing. Lapras is okay at many, which is kind of both his strength and his greatest downfall. Here we're kind of running a hilarious set, because until today I didn't even know he learned Dragon Dance, but I think it's really funny he learns Dragon Dance and thought it'd be cool to just mock up a Dragon Dance set here. So here we have Dragon Dance, Waterfall for the stab, Ice Shard for the stab, plus the priority, owns dragons. And then we have Drill Run, which is actually pretty good. Ground is a pretty good attacking type, especially in tandem with water. You're going to hit a lot of things for super effective. He can kill the electric types, for example, that might threaten him, or switch in on him with something like Drill Run. Again, his abilities, he has a couple here. Shell Armor is actually even okay. Hydration, if you have a rain team, something to be worth looking at, but we're going to run the Water Absorb. Again, his move pool is huge. He has a lot of different things he can do. You can run like a Specs set on him, and really hit hard from the special side. He has a massive. His stats are kind of weirdly distributed. They're like very evenly distributed, which is very much like a Gen 1 thing. You see that a lot with a lot of weirdly distributed stats like this. And he has the HP stat really, even though his defense and special defense aren't super high. He can probably, with that super high HP stat, be able to run a pretty defensive set and take some hits for you. His typing isn't the best. Being ice is more of a hindrance than a boon here. He loses his fire type resistance. He gains a rock weakness. He gains a fighting weakness. just a lot of kind of bad things with that ice typing, but you can deal with it. Again, he doesn't actually have the one thing I was scouring his move pool for earlier today, and I had him a lot higher, but he really does not have really any reliable form of recovery, which really kind of hinders his defensive options. I mean, you can run like Chesto Resto or something on him or something like that, but again, just having that reliable recovery is so important for something that you want to wall, to be a wall. You could probably use him as like a bulky pivot, and maybe not have that kind of sort of similar to like it'd be like a poor man's, very, very poor man's Rotom Wash. Just to use him as like a bulky pivot, something that's come in, take the hit, not really be that scared of whatever's in front of him, hit it, and get out, and allow something else to get in. So that's number 13. Lapper's super diverse, can run Dragon Dance, can even run Specs, can do all kinds of different things for you. Will not really be super, super great at any of them, but it is something just to have that diversity out of a tier 5 pick. Going to number 12, we actually have a set of 3. We have the Semi-Monkeys, is what I call them. I don't know if they have like a real name, but Semi-Sage, Semi-Poor, and Semi-Seer, they all have the exact same stats. They have similar move pools, and they all have, except one's grass, one's water, one's fire. The great thing about these guys, let's just take a look at some of the sets we have here, and you'll notice actually I have 3 completely different sets, just to show their diversity. Like here we have a mix set, here we have a special set, here we have a physical set. They have good speed. Base 101 is a great speed tier, because obviously you just get to barely just out-creep those base 100s. Their attack and special attack is respectable. 98 is going to do something to things. It's not sky high, but you'll be able to poke a little bit of holes here and there. And they have really good move pools actually as well. They have a very wide array of moves they can learn. You can see here Seed Bomb, Knockoff, Superpower, and Gunk Shot. That's going to hit a lot of different things for super effective damage. Yeah, Bad Bulk, obviously they're really only meant to be offensive threats. You really could not run these as defensive Mon, I do not think. Let's just go ahead and look at the other. So we have a choice band set. Here we actually have a nasty plot setup set. If you were able to clear out everything else that's slow or that's slower than him, he could set up a nasty plot and hopefully sweep. Hopefully sweep, yeah. And with that, doubling that 98 special attack is going to definitely turn him into something from maybe a medium threat to a very, very high level threat. Also Hydro Pump, Ice Beam, Grass Knot here. That's going to hit a lot of different things for at least neutral damage. Lastly, here we have Semi-Seer, who we have as a, and again, I didn't really choose I just chose kind of random sets on them. I didn't, I chose him as a mix set. Like, you could definitely have these other ones as mixed, physical, special, whatever. So again, here we have a, and this EV spread means nothing. I don't have this based on anything. I just wanted to show you could, mix and match and play with the EVs, depending. Like maybe you're like, well, I need 76 EVs in order for my Fire Blast to kill his Scizor. I don't know, something like that. Anyway, so here we have Fire Blast, Superpower, Knockoff, and Grass Knot. You can see again, very different moves. He's hitting from the physical side as well as the special side. I would probably almost always go max speed just to outspeed those base 100s. Actually, I think base 100's highest they can go is 329, so you could actually probably do something like this, and then I don't know, you could go ahead and finish off putting this in 80. I'll double check on that, but I don't think they can quite. I don't think base 100s can hit 330. I'll have to take a look at that. But yeah, just allowing you to speed creep those. That's really what you want them for, is to speed creep those base 100s. So again, that's number 12, the versatile offensive threats of the Semi-Monkeys. Plus, I just like that they come in a, I mean, obviously, if you pick one, you don't get all 3, but just the fact that if you need a fire type, a water type, or a grass type, you kind of have these options here as a fallback. And you could certainly do worse in terms of offensive threats, especially their versatility. I do like that a lot about them. Number 11 here, we're going to go down to Stoutland. Stoutland is kind of a monster. He has a pretty good attack stat here. His bulk is actually pretty decent. You know what? He kind of reminds me of like a very, very poor man's Arcanine. in terms of his defensive stats. He has access to Intimidate, so you could definitely run him as a physical wall. Of course, unlike Arcanine, again, he'd be a poor man's Arcanine. No reliable recovery, so definitely probably more of a bulky pivot, like we were talking about the Lapras. But again, Intimidate is a great ability and can definitely allow him, if max invested defense, max invested HP, he could definitely take a couple of physical hits for you. Here, though, we're showing a more offensive set. I mean, you can see here his move pool is actually very good too. He has Return, Superpower, Play Rough, and Wild Charge on a Scarf. With a Scarf here, max speed, he's going to outrun most things, and a base 110 attack is going to hit some things pretty hard. He has other moves too that are viable. I think he has some of the Fangs. Does he have the Fangs? He has Fire Fang. Looks like that might be the only Fang he's got. Yeah. But I mean, he does have, so it is worth noting. Just he has a pretty good move. Oh, he does have the other Fangs. Thunder Fangs here. I wonder if Ice Fang. Don't see Ice Fang, but oh well. One thing to note about Stoutland is if you do have Sand on your team, he goes up this list a lot. Like if you have a Hippowdon or a Tyranitar, he probably goes up 5 or 6 slots, just because he all of a sudden he can act as your late game sweeper with his Sand Rush ability, which doubles his speed in Sandstorm, as well as gives him the immunity. But even if you don't, he's definitely still workable. Intimidate is a good ability. You could even bring Sand Rush if you know 100% that your opponent is going to bring the sand. Scrappy's even a good ability to hit those ghosts with your Return and Superpower Shoot. But again, he can make a good physical sweeper in the late game if you are trying to run the sand. Yeah, so good move. I think he also learns Crunch here. Yeah, he has got Crunch here. He's got Facade in case he gets burned. Oh, there's Ice Fang. I just wasn't looking. He has Steel moves if he wants to hit fairies. Pursuit, Roar even. That would maybe be something good with maybe a defensive set. His special attack isn't great, so I don't really know how much use you'd get out of some of these special moves. But he has access to Thunder Wave, you see, Toxic. Again, just much like the Lapras, you could run Chesto Resto on him if you do want to run that defensive set. So a little bit versatile there. He's mostly used as, I would say, a physical threat, but I like that he has Intimidate. I like that he has reasonable bulk and could be kind of a used as a physical sweeper or a physical wall in a pinch. Even his special defense isn't that bad. Yeah, Stoutland number 11. That's what I'm going with. So tomorrow I will be posting TID through 6. I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like it if you did. Yeah, that's all I got for today, guys. I do hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and you have a great day.